Canceled for wearing a What America News t-shirt. Stop the statue vandals. Trump's law enforcement EO today, plus Bolton's book Betrayal coming up. Welcome to the Buck Sexton Show, everybody. Great to have you here with me as always. And I got to tell you, we need to have some real talk today. I think we always do that, but in particular right now, I think there needs to be a moment of understanding of what we are really facing right now. At this point in time, and this is the first time I felt this way perhaps in almost 4 years. Right now, the Trump movement is losing. Right now, the bad guys are winning. We need to understand that. We need to face that reality. And I'm not just basing this on the polls. I'm not just looking at this in a moment of particular stress in the country and there's this widespread panic out there about what's going to happen to cities, what's going to happen to the economy. We've dealt with a lot of stress. I haven't thought until now, until the last week or so, that the president has really lost the momentum. And we know that the media is telling us all the time, oh, he's going to get impeached. Oh, he's going to get removed. No, we have dug in. We have been here in the trench with the Trump movement, understanding how much they want to destroy it, understanding the lies that they will tell about it, and all the things that they're willing to do to subvert it. But we've known that so far, things have been going more or less in our direction. The economy was very strong. The media was on defense in a way they hadn't been in a very long time. The border was getting very slowly more secure. There were a lot of areas. Judges, though, now we look at things that I would usually say here, like things are going our direction. How is it possible? I mean, really, folks, I'm here to speak truth as I see it, as I know it to all of you. How is it possible that we have the Federalist Society, we have entire institutions devoted to finding conservative judges? And yes, being a conservative means being a textualist, a constitutionalist. Somehow the left is able to put judges forward who are always reliable every time. And conservatives, especially Republican presidential nominees to the Supreme Court, they put people forward who not only are unreliable, sometimes are effectively tools for the other side. I mean, this decision that came down, the 6-3 decision and the opinion written by Gorsuch is a disaster. It's a disaster. It's not a small thing. It's a huge thing. I now sit here and I can't tell you that free speech exists in this country anymore as a function of law. Previously, it had been an issue of culture. It had been, you don't want to get in trouble. You don't want to get mobbed. You don't want your company to decide to take action against you. Now, as a function of federal law, you are being forced to be complicit in things that are untrue, that are damaging, that are wrong. Just as one example that comes to mind, we no longer have the ability to use the appropriate gender pronoun for a person based on their actual gender. It is now a function of law. It is now a function of law to say whatever the preferred pronoun is. Now, how do you stop somebody from filing frivolous lawsuits? What if someone just transitioned and I didn't know, and I call him a he and it's now a she, or a she and it's now a he, or it's a they, or it's a z, or whatever it is? Right? How do I know? Oh, no, we're just going to let people get crushed in the machinery of the legal system now, thanks to Gorsuch. Does anyone really think that freedom of religion is a real thing anymore? Do you realize how much money is waiting on the sidelines to go into the coffers of various left-wing legal, ACLU, just the tip of the iceberg, various left-wing legal outfits that are just going to sue and sue and sue. Bake that cake, conservatives. Get ready for it. Not just bake the cake and sell it to somebody. Oh, no. We know the difference. Now it's going to be write things on it that humiliate you. Write that there is no God. right? That, whatever it is that someone wants to make you, you better do it or else. They'll claim discrimination. You say, well, how? Well, what does sex even mean anymore? Sex means anything relating to sex, according to the Supreme Court. My friends, we need to understand that things are not going well right now with the political movement that we voted for back in 2016. For this is the first time that it's felt to be like we're not winning. Now, I'm not despairing. We have an election ahead. We need to rally. But it's wake-up time, my friends. It's wake-up time. The left is running roughshod over people all across the country. They're canceling people left and right for things that no sane human being believes is wrong or evil. Or, no person really can think that wearing a T-shirt should be a crime that you have to bend the knee for. A T-shirt of a news network that millions of people watch. CNN is full of morons and is a fraud, and Jeff Zucker is a bad person. But I don't think that if someone wears a CNN T-shirt or hat, they should lose their job. I just think they have bad taste in news networks. See, that's the country I want to live in. I don't want to live in a country where the mob gets to get enraged and determine whatever's okay today and whatever's okay tomorrow. And it changes constantly. I'm just going to say it. I have been with Trump from day one of his presidency. I never wavered 1 second during Russia collusion. I never wavered 1 second during impeachment. And I've been telling you, enjoy this. When things were good, enjoy it. We're winning. Things are the way that we want them to be right now. Don't listen to the other people out there that are all, everything's terrible. I mean, it's easy to do that. No, things were good. Now I'm here to tell you, things are actually turning against us in a meaningful way. Joe Biden, he's Sleepy Joe. He's quasi-senile. He doesn't know where he is. He's a fraud. He's a liar. He's unimpressive. There's nothing about that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The left will openly and willfully vote for a box of rusty nails over Donald Trump. And they might be able to make a box of rusty nails win unless we step up. When are people going to understand? It is incumbent upon all of us. I mean, there are people in all 50 states right now listening to this show. Many of you have influence. Many of you can mobilize. Many of you can do things to help this movement. And even if it's just in your town or just in your area, it's time to start to make some noise, my friends. The left is mobilized and organized, and they are going all out. You think that Joe Biden becomes president and, things are just going to be normal? Have you seen what the Democrat Party platform is? These people are insane. And we're going through a pandemic, trillions of dollars of spending. All of our freedoms have effectively been suspended on the whim of tyrannical governors. With barely a peep from conservatives across the country, I'm sitting around thinking, we got really mad about Obama's big spending back in the day. We're not even more mad about this? We're not even more mad about states telling you can't go to a loved one's funeral, while thousands and thousands of protesters are just down the street screaming and yelling and having spittle hit each other in the faces. We got to wake up, conservative America. What is happening here? And if you thought that Trump and the Supreme Court were our last readout, our bulwark against the left's assaults, I got news for you. You can't trust the Supreme Court to save you in the end, and Donald Trump may not get it done this fall. What do we have then? What do we have at that point? Very difficult battle ahead as well to control the Senate. We may be handing control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency to the most insane left-wing Democrat Party you have ever seen in your life, and it's not even close. Where is the sense of urgency from conservatives? Where is the sense of fire in the belly? Why aren't all of you who care about this and politically involved on social media, using the platforms we have, reaching out to people, having your voices heard? Call your member of Congress. Do whatever you think you can do. But this is on all of us. It's go time. If we wait till August or September, it's going to be too late. They're getting ready to shut down states again. And you may say, well, Buck, I live in a red state and we're not that crazy. Really? How crazy are the cities in your red state? You're really that sure? You want to place a bet that your state isn't going to get? Remember, Trump, it's the first time, and it kills me to say it, Trump bent the knee on the extension of the lockdown. The 15 days, I think that was understandable, acceptable. I don't give him a hard time on that. The extension beyond the 15 days was wrong. The extension beyond, but people are telling him 2 million Americans are going to die. The experts are all saying this. I understand. He's under immense pressure. But who else is really carrying the torch here? Who else is really fired up and ready to go? You know, we rely so much on Trump to be the messenger and to fight back against the lunatic left. I'm starting to worry that he's getting a little tired. This guy's getting worn out. I mean, we've really had Trump as a one-man messaging army for going on 4 years. And yes, he says things that need to be said. And yes, he has finally put the media on defense in a way that, but there are other areas of this country where we're losing. We're losing. The fact that you have defund the police as a major rallying cry among Democrats and all normal Americans aren't completely appalled by this. That Democrat poll numbers aren't plummeting across the country because everyone's so terrified of being on the wrong side of the Black Lives Matter movement. They have named the movement so that if you don't agree with it, meaning the movement, not the slogan the movement is using, then you're inherently on defense as a racist, don't you see? That's the whole point. This is just like, I've told you before, this is like, it's a joke in the show Parks and Recreation, but there's a end of days cult that calls themselves the Reasonableists, even though every year they say the world is going to end and it never happens. But anybody who disagrees with the Reasonableists seems unreasonable. Well, anybody who disagrees with Black Lives Matter, the movement, is inherently going to be called a racist, going to be called somebody who, are you saying you don't agree Black Lives Matter? Of course I'm not saying. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. But who are the people carrying this message? I mean, I see Tucker doing amazing work on Fox News. Who else out there is really fired up about this? You know, a lot of conservatives that are in the media that will never have to work another day in their lives. They're set. Their families are set. Their children's children are set. They talk a big game, but they really want to make sure they keep their platform and their prominence and that they're kind of acceptable in polite society. There are a lot of them. A lot of them. A lot of cowardice out there. A lot of people who tell you that the money and the fame doesn't matter. They're just in it for the movement. Really? Where are they right now? Are they taking it to the enemy, or are they just saying the bare minimum they need to say so that their audience is nodding in assent? Yeah, okay. That's, we don't, sure, we support our cops. Yeah. We've got to go on offense. This is insane. They're pulling down statues all across the country. They're beating people in the streets. They're looting stores. They're setting buildings on fire. They're lying about this plague of murdering racist cops that they say exists that does not exist. The media is complicit in all this. They are the heart of evil in this country. The mainstream media is, in fact, the heart of evil in America today. They are spewing hate and viciousness and division for profit and for ideological reasons. And I don't see the fire in the belly. I say we fight. We're losing our ability to fight with every day. The laws are going to be turned against us. Corporate America is being turned against us. Who will speak out? Do you do everything you can? Do you support the voices that you know are in this fight? If you're listening to this show, obviously I think you're at least supporting one. But is there anybody else out there? See, I take a different approach than a lot of my conservative media colleagues, too. And any of you who know me know this is the way I do things. I want my team to win. I want Team Conservative to be winning hearts and minds. And yes, influence and power in government, too, to implement the policies that I believe in. But I want the team to win. I'm not running around the pool trying to dunk everybody else under all the time. A lot of people in conservative media are. I hope you can tell who they are, because they're petty and they're frauds. people that have amassed tremendous amounts of wealth and influence who are always a little shy about the fight. Just want to kind of maintain where they are. Want to keep that big platform. Want to keep that show, whatever it is. We lack urgency, and time is not on our side right now. We must get in the fight in every way that we can. For those of you who, you feel like, what am I going to do? Okay, I mean, not everyone's going to be a frontline ideological warrior. I mean, I'm out there, I'm getting the death threats and people saying horrible things to me all the time, and, members of the mainstream media making fun of my name constantly and all this stuff. Whatever. I signed up for this, right? I have my shield high. That's the whole point. But for those of you out there that know how to mobilize, how to organize, how to get people politically engaged, how to spread the truth, how to support voices that are doing that, we've all got to get in this. This is all hands on deck. The country that we are going to be left with, if the left-wing apparatus seizes control in November, is going to be a hellish, nightmarish dystopia, and not just in the cities, okay? Things are going to get a lot worse for a lot of people. Freedom is in real jeopardy. Freedom of religion, freedom of conscience, freedom of speech, freedom of press, all of these things are in real jeopardy right now. And it's not enough to just say, yeah, Trump owns the libs. He's not going to be owning them quite as much if he's not president anymore, folks. It's time to get in the fight.
Do you have any reaction to the Supreme Court decisions earlier today about LGBT discrimination, saying that is protected under the Civil Rights Act?
No, they've ruled. I've read the decision, and some people were surprised, but they've ruled, and we live with their decision. That's what it's all about. We live with the decision of the Supreme Court. Very powerful, a very powerful decision, actually. But they have so ruled.
That's it? The president saying a very powerful decision. Yeah, very powerful, very bad decision for freedom. And let me say, I'm not talking about the anti-discrimination components against people who are gay, who have been fired from their jobs. I think that firing someone from their job, as I said to you, because they're gay is an odious and horrible thing to do. But the way that, first of all, the legality of this ruling, changing what sex means because you want it to mean something else, does violence to the law, and the implications for doing so, I mean, this is now, it's endless. The stuff that we're facing, if you had said 10 years ago that now somebody would be able to bring a lawsuit, anyone who wants to go into an all-female prison, just start with that. File a federal lawsuit. Say you identify as female. Let the courts work that out. You're gonna have sex segregated bathrooms, prisons, sports, all this stuff is going to be just a mess in the courts. And it's just a very powerful ruling. And look, we ask a lot of President Trump. He's not able to carry this all on his own, folks. I'm just going to say it. What are we doing right now? What is President Trump doing? Signing an executive order on policing to build trust in law enforcement. What does that even mean? Someone explain. Why isn't he signing an executive order that the federal government will assist police departments as needed across the country in order to restore law and order? Why isn't he signing an executive order in solidarity with police departments who do an amazing job in this country, and the numbers show are incredibly respectful and professional and decent and courageous? That's who our law enforcement is. Just think about it this way. You know how many veterans there are wearing cop uniforms right now across the country? Tens of thousands, maybe even up into the six figures. Are they all bad people? At least veterans still, for the most part, Democrats have to pretend as a party to respect. I mean, that's the good, but not police. No. Just like when they turned on the members of Immigration and Customs Enforcement and Border Patrol. Abolish ICE, abolish Border Patrol. Say Border Patrol is 30% minority and has a huge percentage. I think it might even be more like 40% veterans. A lot of Border Patrol guys are veterans. They're all bad people now that they're doing a job upholding federal law. What is this executive order supposed to do? This is what the White House put out. Look, I mean, I know I want to help the White House. I want to help Trump get reelected. But, the same way that, I love my family members so much that I won't let them make a bad decision without raising my voice to what's going on if I think it needs to be done. Whoever's advising, and I think I have some ideas, whoever's advising Trump right now on this law enforcement issue is doing a terrible job, horrible job, have no idea what's going on in this country, are delusional, think that maybe if we pass First Step Act 2 or 3 or 5, this is going to go away. None of this has anything to do with good faith concerns about police procedure. That's a conversation we could have at any time. You think they're looting stores and burning down buildings because they don't have access to full transparency on arrest databases? What are you, nuts? The White House put out a tweet today. Both public safety and public trust are crucial to the law enforcement mission. Today's executive order will uphold clear and high policing standards, promote accountability in law enforcement, and help equip officers for constructive community engagement. What? Like what? How's that going to help? And he's saying that we're gonna go into the Seattle Autonomous Zone? No. We don't want to go into the Seattle Autonomous. They're now calling it the Capitol Hill Occupy protest because this is Occupy Wall Street all over again. As I've been telling you, this is the mobilization of the left. The George Floyd was the excuse for the left to mobilize in this way. Don't you see? That was the opportunity they seized on. This is not the first time we have been through this. But now they've chosen, the last time around the Black Lives Matter movement got going based on a lie, which was that in Ferguson, Missouri, Mike Brown had his hands up and got shot, was executed in cold blood. That was a lie. And eventually, the anti-cop hatred of the movement and the fact that it was built on a lie undermined it. It lost public support. George Floyd, we have the video. That cop knelt on his neck for almost 9 minutes. Looks like murder. So now they have finally seized upon an instance where clearly the moral high ground is held by those who are against the cop, not against the cops, but against this one bad cop. So this, they've learned from the mistake of the past, which was just I wouldn't even say that. They probably thought that it served their purposes. They don't care that they were lying about hands up, don't you? They don't care about any of that. All that mattered was the mobilization. All that mattered was the political power. But now the president keeps tweeting out law and order. And look, I know a lot of you, and this probably it's not good business to sit here and say the White House is wrong on this one. It's not good. I know people don't want to hear that. There are a lot of people. Just everything Trump does, it's all 8D chess. No, I'm not criticizing Trump. I'm not criticizing him out of anything other than support of the movement, than fealty to the ideology represented by this administration. We've gone from this nightmare of COVID and all the lies around it and all the falsehoods and the way the left has just manipulated this and used this for their benefit and shut down the amazing, robust, prosperous economy. It did not need to happen. It was the wrong decision, but they finally got Trump to bend the knee, and now they're just piling on. Never bend the knee. I'm honestly frustrated today, and not just because I'm in New York and surrounded by lunatics who think that maybe shutting down again is a good idea. These people are completely and utterly out of their minds. We all agreed at the beginning, okay, we can't shut down again. We can't shut down too long. Even Dr. Fauci's like, look, eventually the shutdown with the mitigation efforts, the shutdown is, that's its own problem. We don't want to have the shutdown be so bad that, it's worse that. He's already said that. We already know this. And yet it's being talked about openly. And merely the suggestion that we could shut down the economy is changing investment, is changing businesses' decisions about reopening. Whole economic sectors are shaky because who knows? All right, is anyone ever going to be riding on airplanes again? I think the answer is most decidedly yes. Hopefully it'll be back to totally normal within, if I'm guessing, 12 months. Airplanes. I think everything else can get more normal way before that, but that's what I think we're heading for. And we need optimism, but we also need fire in the belly. We need an understanding of what is at stake at this moment. Can you share core beliefs publicly without fear? In America right now, the answer is no. If you need an example of this, and by the way, when I say core beliefs, that's true, but also even just share belief. Maybe you just happen to be, given something by a friend, right? I mean, I can't tell you how many bands and different TV shows and such over the years have given me gear or paraphernalia to put on, and I'll just, I got a free T-shirt, right? Better be careful if you put on the wrong T-shirt, you can be in big trouble. Oklahoma State football coach Mike Gundy got into a whole bunch of trouble because on his social media, he was out with a trip, just hanging out with some friends. I think they were, fishing or something, or out on the boat. And he had an OAN T-shirt on. OAN. Oh, no. You mean a up-and-coming, conservative-leaning cable news channel? You're not allowed to wear an OAN T-shirt. I mean, you might as well be wearing a Hitler is awesome T-shirt. This is how stupid the left is. This is how insane they are now. You can't even just wear a T-shirt that says One American News. People work there. People's livelihoods depend on this business, and they're trying to have a product that reaches millions of Americans every day. And yet this was a problem for running back Chuba Hubbard. And Chuba Hubbard, in response to this, seeing this photo, tweeted out, "I will not stand for this. This is completely insensitive to everything going on in society, and it's unacceptable. I will not be doing anything with Oklahoma State until things change. I'll start off first by saying I went about it the wrong way by tweeting," Hubbard said. "I'm not someone that has to tweet something to make change. I should have went to him as a man, and I'm all about passion, so that was bad on my part. So from now on, we're going to focus on bringing change." Or look, it's good that Chuba Hubbard realized that look, honor is something we don't teach in schools anymore. Honor is something that's not prized in society. And the left makes a mockery of honor. It's all about wokeness, get 'em, drag 'em, ruin 'em, cancel 'em. They never seem to think that it's the more honorable thing to do. If you think someone has stepped out of line and you know that person, reach out to them. I have told you, and it is a principle that I adhere to, I do not trash friends of mine in media on this show. And that includes people with whom I disagree with. That includes people that I think objectively could be called, at this point, turncoats to the cause. But I will not. I will come to them privately, and I have. And I will disagree with them privately. And I will tell them that, I think that they've gone off the rails, especially in the anti-Trump era. It's nuts. But I do not trash people who are my friends because I think that people should know that have a personal relationship with me, that I am first and foremost Buck Sexton. They can trust me. I'm an honest guy. I'm a good guy. And I don't hurt people that have relationships with me. I don't do that. I don't turn on them. I don't betray their trust. Honor matters. If we had a more honorable society, we wouldn't have all these problems. And, if we had greater trust, greater faith, greater sense that our fellow human beings shared core and foundational beliefs about how a society should be run, we'd be in much better shape than we are right now. That's all disappearing with every passing day. So I'm glad to see that Mr. Hubbard here, the running back, said that he should have gone to him personally, but he didn't. Let's remember that. He first called him out and created a huge ordeal over this. And Oklahoma, remember, this is in Oklahoma. This isn't the faculty lounge at Brown University or Oberlin or Reed College or one of these loony bins out there. This is Oklahoma State. It's stunning. I mean, maybe he wore a One America News T-shirt. First of all, I don't even know. No one even stops to think, does he even support him? Or maybe someone just gave him this T-shirt and it was a clean T-shirt he had to wear. Like, that could happen. But put that aside for a moment. It's now beyond the pale to wear a One America News T-shirt. I ask you this question. How long before someone gets canceled in sports, in Hollywood, and when he's openly canceled because they have a Fox News T-shirt on or a Fox News hat on? This is a multi-billion-dollar-a-year venture that is right-leaning, but is certainly not universally conservative. Just watch some of the programming these days. And turn that on, and you'd ask yourself, well, how is that possible? Oh, no, it is possible. In fact, remember this. The cancellations that you see occurring are the ones that happen in public. In many ways, the more pernicious, the more damaging cancellations in this culture are happening behind closed doors. Don't give that person that job. I hear he likes Tucker Carlson's show. Don't invest in that person's company. I hear that he listens to conservative talk radio. This happens all the time. And it's going to continue to happen and get worse and worse until people on the right stand up, refuse to bend the knee, and band together and start helping each other so that we have voices and platforms and sponsors and an ecosystem that goes beyond the crumbs that the left allows us to have, so there can be a pretense of real media opposition. We are outgunned in the platform wars, my friends. And if we lose Trump as president, guess what? The media is going to be able to run roughshod over the opposition all over again. And here's an example of the cancel culture attitude, and also people who have betrayed whatever ideals they say they once stood for professionally. Rick Wilson, I don't even understand what he thinks he's accomplishing with this, but he tweeted out last night to Domino's Pizza, which I will say I definitely was a customer when I was in college. Before I knew I couldn't have gluten, I used to eat Domino's Pizza fairly regularly. I can't say that I'm particularly a fan of the quality of the pizza now, but can't eat it now, really, so there's that. But Domino's Pizza responded to a kind word by Kayleigh McEnany, the White House press secretary, with, "That's one heck of a compliment. Thanks for the love." This was back in 2012. I don't even know what, I think she just said that she liked the pizza or something. Rick Wilson, Republican consultant, that's always Republican consultant, who's part of the Lincoln Project, which is effectively, might as well be, the direct action arm of the Democrat Party right now. They're so Republican, they're so conservative that Planned Parenthood loves them, right? I mean, that's what we're dealing with now with these Never Trumpers. Never Trumpers are now Democrats because there was no space left for them. They thought that maybe the conservative movement would come back to their side, and then when they realized, oh no, this is not a good business proposition, they founded the Lincoln Project. And it'll get you on MSNBC. You get to be a little conservative or a Republican who's patted on the head at CNN and MSNBC. I have told people, I have convinced conservatives, multiple conservatives that to leave CNN. I cannot tell you who they are, but you would know who they are. I've convinced them. I've said, get out of there. And they have all thanked me for it. I practice what I preach. But Rick Wilson responded last night, you just killed your brand. And that's just insane. Kayleigh said she likes Domino's. Domino's says, thank you for the compliment. Rick Wilson thinks that that's brand killing. Like Kayleigh McEnany, who's a lovely person, who's doing a phenomenal job as White House press secretary. She can't like pizza? That's not allowed? Domino's Pizza, to its credit, came back on Twitter and said, well, it's unfortunate that thanking a customer for a compliment back in 2012 would be viewed as political. Guess that's 2020 for you. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's also psychotic. My friends, just because you're not involved in political media or somebody who's necessarily a public figure, although I know a lot of you listen to this, work on Capitol Hill and work in state GOP offices, etc. But they'll come for anybody. It doesn't matter who you are. This is a fight for our culture. This is a fight for the soul of this country. Understand that and understand it now.